Well, hello, and welcome to Let's Play Dragon Age Origins Get Good Edition. I'm your host, Yeoman Hero, and today, we're fighting Loghain! How dost you? I don't berserk.
You won't fall! Wonderful! I underestimated you, Warden. I thought you were like Kalen, a child wanting to play at war. I was wrong. There's a strength in you that I have not seen anywhere since Marek died. I yield.
You'll die for what you've done.
There is another option. Batean is a warrior and general of renown. Let him be of use. Let him go through the joining.
No, that's crazy.
There are too few of us. It's not a matter of what we like, it's a matter of what we must do. Our duty is to slay the Archdemon. We aren't judges. Kinslayers, blood mages, traitors, rebels, Carter thugs, common bandits. Anyone with the skill and the mettle to take up the sword against the Darkspawn is welcome among us. There are 3 of us in all of Ferelden, and there are compelling reasons to have as many wardens on hand as possible to deal with the Archdemon.
The joining itself is often fatal, is it not? If he survives, you gain a general. If not, you have your revenge. Doesn't that satisfy you?
Absolutely not! Riordan, this man abandoned our brothers and then blamed us for the deed. He hunted us down like animals. He tortured you! How can we simply forget that?
No, Loghain has to die for
You can't do this. My father may have been wrong, but he is still a hero to the people.
Honora. Hush. It's over.
Stop treating me like a child. This is serious.
Daughters never grow up, Honora. They remain 6 years old with pigtails and skinned knees forever.
Father.
Just make it quick, Warden. I can face the Maker knowing that Ferelden is in your hands.
Very well. And thus she avoided the faint.
So it is decided. Alistair will take his father's throne.
Wait, what? No! When did this get decided? Nobody's decided that. Have they?
He refuses the throne. Everyone here has heard him. I think it's clear then. He abdicates in favor of me.
I hardly think you're the appropriate person to mediate this, Honora. Warden, will you help us?
Yes, I can settle this.
As the arbiter of this dispute, what is your decision? Who will lead Ferelden?
Queen Honora.
Thank you, Warden. You were wise not to disrupt Ferelden's governance any further in a time of such crisis. My first act as Queen must be to insist on receiving Alistair's oath before all the lands meet, to relinquish all claim to the throne for himself and his heirs.
Oh, I never wanted it. I mean, yes, of course. Happily, in fact.
And now, lords and ladies of Ferelden, there is still a blight to defeat, and armies to gather. And I appoint this man to lead us in both. We will not allow this land be further threatened by the Archdemon. Gather your forces, and await the Warden's command. On the morrow, we shall begin our struggle against the greatest threat Ferelden has ever faced. And we shall triumph over it, for we are Ferelden.
And thus that was taken care of really quickly. We have entered the end game of the game.
So it's done. My father is dead. I never thought he would go so far. I never thought it would end like it did. Such a waste.
There's a lot to be done still.
That is true. Arl Eamon has left for Redcliffe, and tells me that our armies have almost fully gathered there. I will be heading there myself. Bring your companions, and join us at Redcliffe Castle as soon as you are able. You have united for Eldenwarden. Now we face the Blight.
Okay, codex updated. Their help, Loghain's support was eroded. Bands fell in line behind Aemon and Hector. Loghain, however, would not accept defeat easily. He filled the room with troops and attempted a coup. Fighting erupted, breaking the long tradition of the Landsmeet, which was ultimately settled with a duel. In the end, Nor was granted the throne, freeing Alistair from the burden of responsibility he never wanted anyway. With the question of succession settled, Eamon returned to Redcliffe to prepare the castle's defenses for the encroaching Blight. He was defeated in single combat at the Landsmeet and summarily executed. Oof. Time to level up, level up. Next. I suppose. Like, yeah.
This is a nice estate, isn't it? What's on your mind?
Nothing.
It is
I
no
shouldn't
trouble.
have disturbed you. Apparently there's pointlessness. Okay, head to here. And we need doop.
Indeed.
Doop, doop.
Yes.
Yes.
Doop. So I have a feeling that I'm not going to be able to finish off that last doobly-doo, or that last side quest, which isn't the end of the world anyway, so... We'll be doing this, though. I'm getting close to the end of Awakening shall be next, followed by the rest of the DLC. Bounces around you, barking excitedly. Pet, Prince Fluffernutter. Rolls around happily on his back.
Look, before we go any further, I want to say something. I appreciate that you brought me to see my sister, and that you were there to talk me down after we left. You're a true friend. I just wanted to tell you that.
I feel the same way.
Well, now that that's out of the way, ask away.
I have some questions.
Of course.
If you were raised in the Chantry, have you never...
Never what? Had a good pair of shoes?
Sex.
Oh, so that's what we're talking about. Well, if you really want to know, you tell me first.
Tell you what, of course I have.
And apparently you have no shame as well. Well, all right, I'll play along. I myself never had the pleasure. Not that I haven't thought about it, of course. But, you know.
You've never had the opportunity?
Well, living in the Chantry is it's not exactly a life for rambunctious boys. They raised me to be a gentleman. That's not so bad, is it?
Not really, no.
I've no urge to rush into anything. We may not even survive what is to come, after all. Enough. I don't want to talk about this anymore. Let's go.
Upset with me for messing with you, Alistair? Is this a problem for you?
What's on your mind?
As Grey Warden, I'll never lead a normal life, will
No,
I?
you won't.
Oh, you're blunt.
Were you expecting an, oh, I'm sure you will. You'll have dozens of babies and die happy and old in your bed. No, you won't. If I had said that, it would have been a lie, and I would have been doing you an injustice. You wonder sometimes, don't you? If your life would be better if you weren't who you are.
A little.
When I was a young woman in the tower, I came to the realization that the circle would be my life, and I would know no other. Family, love, a simple life. These were things that others took for granted, that I would never have.
Grass is always greener on the other side.
It made me very moody. All I could think of was being trapped in that tower with no way out and no end in sight. I started hating my life and myself, and one night I found myself in the tower's chapel. I was seeking refuge, maybe answers.
Did you find anything?
I must have looked tearful or made some noise, because the revered mother came out and decided to speak to me. And because I had no one else to talk to, I talked to her. I must have said many silly things, but she told me that the Maker puts us all on our paths for a reason, and fighting our intended course is what causes so much anguish.
And that made you feel better?
I thought the old biddy was full of rubbish. I was 15, maybe 16, and I knew everything. So I left, but I always found my way back to that chapel. And as the years passed, I began to see the truth of her words. We were supposed to be polar opposites, mage and priest. But we weren't. There was much about us that was the same.
Priests have to choose to be priests. Mages
Not all
don't.
priests choose their path. Some children are given to the Chantry to raise and become initiates. The revered mother had lived in the Chantry all her life, as I had been in the tower for all of mine. She taught me that you can find your family in the people around you, that you can love your work and find fulfillment in duty. And there is joy even in self-sacrifice. If you put others before yourself, then their well-being is yours, and their happiness is your happiness.
Won't be easy to live
You
that
can
way.
scream and cry and be angry about life as a Grey Warden, or you can accept it and allow yourself to see the good in it. This is your choice.
What do you want?
Something's bothering you, I can tell.
Aye, people talking when I'm trying to have a sudden quiet moment. That really twists my nut. Did you want to talk about something?
I'd like to know more
What
about
about?
you. Maybe some other
Alright.
time. We'll talk more later.
Aye, All right then.
I know that look. You have something on your mind, don't you? Of course.
Nothing, never mind. Sure Sten's got nothing to say.
It speaks.
I have some questions.
It doesn't have better things to do.
How did you end up in Honleith? Do you remember?
That I remember quite well. My former master, the Mage Wilhelm, he brought me. As I recall, he had acquired some position with whatever lord ruled the land. I, being little more than a glorified possession at the time, was brought along. Oh, how he enjoyed impressing the villagers with me. Gollum, snarl at that villager there, be fearsome. And of course, I would have to do it.
You didn't like this, Wilhelm, I take it?
He did love using that control rod. Fondled it so much his wife actually threatened to throw it in the lake. Ha! I would have liked to have seen that. Which reminds me, where did it find the rod? Did it pay a great deal for it?
Wilhelm's wife sold it, I believe.
Hag.
Do you remember anything before
I
Honleith?
traveled with the mage. He did a lot of traveling, I remember that. But where we went, it is rather fuzzy. I remember great battles, fighting many humans long ago. They were all very soft and squishy. And before that, No, there are only images. I was somewhere dark.
Interesting, I'm done asking about that.
Good. I was just about done talking about it. It does like to have a good chat now and again, doesn't it?
It does? Morrigan, I have a conversation to see if you have, but probably don't.
I await your command. So, full of questions, are you?
Okay. Let's see. Okay, yeah. Can definitely sell this now.
Ah, fancy. I heard rumors that Redcliffe was once again open for business. The Earl has kindly offered my son and I lodgings in exchange for supplies. I'm happy to help him. And you too, of course. I'm sure you'll be pleased.
Technically, I should have just let him talk, but I didn't feel like it, so I skipped it. Okay, so I sold that. I go back
You
to
and your friends
him.
are formidable folk, indeed. It's good to have. You and your friends are formidable folk, indeed. I'm sure...
Okay. So I think if I go here,
Indeed.
Yes.
Yes.
kind of redonkulous. But I'm gonna go back to Denerim. It's just gonna give me a loading screen. Instead of me having to go anywhere. There is a method to all this nonsense. Go back this way, go back to this map, go back here.
If there's anything I can do for you, please.
Okay, I'm buying that back just as like a, don't need that. Okay, so that was pointless.
Yes.
I was hoping that it would allow the weapon to go up in quality there. But whatever. Time to finally head over to Redcliffe to deal with the nonsense that is the Redcliffe stuff before heading back to Denerim. Because once we get to Redcliffe, we find out that it was just like a distraction sort of thing, and that they're heading, the Darkspawn and the Archdemon are heading straight for Denerim. Apparently there are...
It's you! The Grey Warden! Andraste's mercy that you got here when you did. I thought for sure these monsters were going to get me.
When did the Darkspawn get here?
Just a few hours ago. Not that long after everyone was evacuated to the castle. I thought I could make it to my home and back before they got here, but it took me too long to get down here. What a relief you arrived.
Should get to safety.
I'm going to get out of here before any more of those things arrive. Thank you again.
Redcliffe, finally under attack by Darkspawn. Defeat the Darkspawn and save Redcliffe. Onwards! Hi, Darkspawn! Oh, no you don't. I'ma not deal with that today. Why are you holding? Also, could you? Yes, haste. Haste, everybody! Excuse me.
Oh, it fell down.